Blue Exorcist is a story I used to be fond of, but after my years of analyzing stories, I just think it's underwhelming. It's not bad, and I'll get into that, but I feel like it's not reaching its full potential. Blue Exorcist is a battle manga about the son of Satan training to be an exorcist to defeat his father. This is a monthly manga with about 50 pages per chapter, but it still follows the trend of popular battle manga. In the early stages, every chapter introduces a new character that is the focus of the chapter. They get backstory, character development, and maybe even an arc by the end. There's also some kind of fight at the end of most chapters. I'll look at the first arc. Chapter 1 is about Rin and Fujimoto, and Rin fights demons at the end. Chapter 2 is about Rin and Yukio, and there's a fight. 3 is about Shiemi, and there's a fight. 4 is about Bone, and there's some sort of physical activity at the end, but not a fight. 5 is about Izumo, and there's a fight. 6 is about Bone and Izumo, and there's a fight. 7 is about Neuhaus, and there's a fight. So compared to Twin Star Exorcist, another monthly battle manga about exorcists, the story handles the formula pretty well on the surface. The fight starts slowing down in the Exorcist candidate live combat arc, and they slow down even more in the Kyoto Imperial King arc. The problems start appearing when I look at the main attraction of battle manga, the battles. While Blue has frequent fights, the fights aren't that good. The best place to start with the battle's flaw is the power system. The magic system is whack. So, for normal people, there are a couple types of exorcists. There's Knight, Dragoon, Tamer, Arya, and Doctor. Knights use swords, Dragoons use guns, Tamers use familiars, Aryas use chants, and Doctors are doctors. So out of the 5 classes, only 2 have powers. Tamers can use demons they've tamed to fight, and Aryas can read Bible verses to exorcise demons. They can also use random magic spells sometimes. Do you understand how unimpressive this power system is? Let's look at the main cast. Yukio has no powers and just uses guns. Shiemi can summon little plant men that can use some support magic. When I stopped, Izumo could summon 2 flying dogs that could bite. Bone could use his chance to summon a shield. He got a firebird familiar and that was kinda cool, but it existed for 1 arc when I stopped. Renzo had a staff that he could manipulate with chance. Later in the story, he gets a familiar with some powers. This is so uninspiring. But then there are some knights who have demon swords, which are swords that come with powers. Where I stopped, there were only 3 demon swords. Rin, Shura, and Arthur had them. Looking at the wiki, there's only been 1 more added. Don't get excited, because the powers here are so basic. Rin's sword can make blue flames. Shura's can fire air slices. Arthur's can shoot energy waves. Very creative. Battle manga that don't have amazing magic systems can at least make up for that with good martial arts, superhuman or not. Examples of superhuman martial arts would be One Piece, Yu Yu Hakusho, and North Star. Examples of less superhuman martial arts would be Kenshin and Magi. Blue has neither. Most characters aren't superhuman, most of them have no martial arts skills, and the swordsmen show very underwhelming swordsmanship. So when you combine no martial arts with unimpressive magic, you get weak fights. The art is doing its best to carry the fights, but there isn't enough quality in the writing to make them entertaining. Once again, I think Twin Star is a good comparison. Both casts fight hordes of forgettable monsters, but Twin Star has both martial arts and magic. Rokuro has super strength with his gauntlet, and Benyo has super speed alongside her twin swords. This isn't much, but it results in much cooler fights. In just 18 chapters, Rokuro also shows off firing rocks as bullets, Benyo covers her sword in flames and gains demon weapon boots, and Seiken has a claw gauntlet that can use ranged slices along with the rock bullets. The characters gain even more powers as the story moves forward. What powers do the True Cross gang show off in the first 3 arcs? I already went over the regulars, so let's look at the demon swordsmen. Rin and Shura are the most interesting, but their potential is being limited by the story. Rin's blue flames could be so much more, but all he really does is burn stuff around him. He starts trying to control it later in the story, but by that time, the quality of the fights had already shown themselves. Shura has some powers, but has not had a single interesting fight by the end of the Imperial King arc. What makes all of this worse is how little the author explored this. There's so much you could do with familiars, magical chants, and demon swords, but the characters barely use them to their full potential. If you just compare the amount of special moves in the Exorcist stories, you can see the difference in the care towards the powers. Twin Star is about 20 chapters shorter than Blue. In Blue, Rin has 5, Yukio has 0, Shiemi has 3, Izumo has 3, Ryuji has 3, Renzo has 3, Shura has 4. You might be thinking that this alone doesn't prove anything, but I watched season 1 and 2 and read ahead a little. These characters barely use magic to fight, and they barely use them in interesting ways. Twin Star has an underdeveloped wiki, yet the main character has significantly more moves in 127 chapters. If we're talking about just overarching attacks, he has about 9 moves. If we include derivative attacks, he has 15. If we count new weapons and enhancements, he has 26 moves. If we count everything Benyo has, she has 14 moves. That's what a battle manga should look like. So the magic system is one piece of the puzzle to the underwhelming fights. This piece is also responsible for the next piece, which is the lack of career-defining fights. In battle manga, usually most of the main characters will at least have one career-defining fight. Usopp, Nami, Sakura, Choji, Chad, Orihime, Uraraka, they all had at least one fight. It doesn't even have to be a solo fight, but if it's a group fight, they have to play a major role. Ida against Stain, Vanessa and Finral against Veto, etc. By the end of the first arc, Twin Star had the iconic fight of the duo versus the main antagonist, but what about Blue? Blue Exorcist only gives career-defining battles to Rin. By the end of season 1, Rin's only defining fight was the second bout with a Maimon, and it isn't even cool in the manga. It was about 5 pages before it was stopped, but Shiemi, Izumo, Konekomaru, Renzo, and Shura get nothing. There are some group fights, but they are not what I can call career-defining. A big part of that is that they don't have good enough powers. Another major reason is that it's almost impossible to have a career-defining fight against hordes of monsters. In chapter 29, Yukio has a cool moment where he casts a spell in a 1v1 against Todo and almost wins, and Bone has a moment where he uses Karura to cast a barrier. These are cool moments for these characters so far, but they're only epic in comparison to what Blue has given us. They aren't epic compared to most battle manga. If we look at Twin Star again, in 18 chapters, the two protagonists already have a couple of career-defining moments, and as the story introduces new heroes, they get their moments too. When I reread the manga, I was surprised at how much faster the pacing felt compared to my memory. I didn't slow down to see how well the arcs and themes were written, because I wanted to focus on the combat in the story. The arcs and themes could have been phenomenal, but the action is so disappointing. And for a story that falls under the action genre, I expect good action, just like I expect a good mystery from a mystery story, and good romance from a romance story. Blue Exorcist could have been something special if it had its fights in check. As it stands right now, it may write its characters and themes well, but so does every other battle manga. The fights were its chance to stand out,